Hello and welcome to the Falcon of Footy podcast. I'm Clarky.
I'm Cassie.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Jess.
Guaranteed that no other football podcast can recite Harry McClary from memory. Out of the gate and off for a walk went Harry McClary from Donaldson's Dairy. And Hercules Morse as big as a...
Oh.
Hey boys, play the footy.
Straight back home to bed. Welcome to the Falcon podcast for round 19 we just finished. We're in the home stretch, guys.
Oh,
Somehow.
So close.
It's
Also,
so
Harry McClary
close.
was my favourite book as a child. I just had to mention that.
Absolutely goated.
It was my favourite whenever they read it on Play School, but we never had a copy. So now that I have a son, I was so excited to buy a copy.
We ended up with two somehow. We've got there's a cardboard style one where like the pages are quite thick and they're obviously for like, younger children. And then we've got like a large version that's more traditional pages. So we keep that one away from our daughter because obviously the second that she touches them, the toddler hands are going to just like crush the page. Yeah, crush the page in her little fists as she tries to turn it. We've already had a couple of incidents with some pop-up books that have required gluing.
Yes. Yes, we have our bookshelf of the ones that don't get touched yet, and then all the cardboard ones that are in the playpen that can be played with at all times.
I don't recall a lot of the ones that. So our daughter, this is a football podcast, but I'm doing this
No,
because
it's
I
not.
actually really want to. I'm really having a good time talking. Our daughter Elsie is really into reading at the moment, like this, like stories, part of like bedtime. We go in now, like we've got a little playroom for her, and she goes and she'll just sit there and she'll be like, read this and like bring you over a book. Big fan of Gruffalo is getting a lot of play in our house. Mog the Forgetful Cat, The Tiger Who Came to Tea, Harry McClary, and then of course the classic, which I always think about is Where is the Green Sheep?
Hey, so we've got Where is
I
the
don't know
Green
that
Sheep?
one.
We've got it, and I was like, everybody like raves about this book, and there's not much to it. And then I've since realised we've got the abridged version of the children's book.
The radio
it's like
edit.
4 pages, and it's like, here's the red sheep. It doesn't even have the blue sheep. And it's like, here is red sheep, here is Bath sheep. And I was like, is there more to this? Why do people like this book so much? And then I went into a store one time and I flipped through and I was like, oh, there is a lot more to this story. I've missed so much
you
of
got
this
the demo.
Yeah, you got the free trial, and you just every time you open it, still evaluating. I don't know if I'm going to commit yet.
I tell you what was very exciting though. One of our books that we read over and over is Noni the Pony, and randomly I put on a random episode of Play School just to have it on in the background. And it was like a farm episode, and they sat down, went through, they, read the clock, and it's time to read the book. And the book they read was Noni the Pony. And it was like, our book that we read every day
That's my book.
was on TV. I was much more excited about it than Sebastian was, but...
It kind of is a bit like that now as a parent where I'm like, I feel like I'm enjoying this more than she is, and she's enjoying the time spent with Jess and I, and we do funny voices. And she knows some of the words, but it's mostly for us.
Yeah.
Like, the pageantry is all for our enjoyment, I feel like.
I guess we should talk about football now.
Yeah.
If we
No,
must.
I was just trying to remember. Jess and I we watched Jonathan Bailey from Bridgerton read Room on the Broom. They did it on CBeebies, which is like the BBC children's channel. And they happened to play the whole, like him reading the whole book on an episode of the UK version of Gogglebox. And it was just like this weird thing where they're like, man, he's really hot and he's reading a children's book. And I was like, this feels like a weird read to try and put on a TV show and go, hey, this is for children, but it's not for children. We've got the sexy man from Bridgerton. You like that, kids?
We
What?
did have an old episode of High Five on today, and we were like, and Nathan was for the mums, and Charlie was for the dads.
It's very on brand for you in the daily household to really explain the nuance and gossip of it all. And I can't wait for you to get to the Wiggles and to talk about, is it Emma and the divorce?
Emma and Lockie, but then Emma's not there anymore, and now Lockie is dating one of the fairies or something. So
Yeah, and she
Yeah.
looks crazy. Every time I see photos of them, I'm like, she looks like a statue that looks like it's about to stab me. That's all I can think.
Oh
Anyway,
my days.
football. So this week, news happened before we recorded
Oh,
for
thank
once in our
goodness.
life. Yeah, it's very rare that this happens, but we get the joy of reporting and being probably, I don't know, I'd say we're like in triple figures of reporting this, but Ken Hinkley has been named as the new Tasmania coach, guys. He beat out John Longmire and Nathan Buckley for the job, which is the ultimate insult for both of those people, I feel like.
I'd be fucking raging if I was horse.
Yeah.
I'd be so mad about that. I'd be like, are you fucking serious? The guy with the teeth? You chose him over me?
The thing that made me laugh is that, like, whenever Horse, like, removed himself from the Essendon process, removed himself from the Carlton process, but every time they asked Ken if he was interested, he was like, oh, yeah, a little bit. Like, he was like, just trying to flirt with every club, and he's the one that got the job, whereas Horse was like, no, I'm focused solely on this one opportunity. And they're like, no, let's go with the other guy.
He was playing hard to get, and they got him.
He was barely even playing hard to get. He was
Yeah,
just-
no.
he was playing You Know You Want Me, apparently. I don't know how I feel about this because on one hand, Ken Hinkley is fine, but he really didn't have like a great amount of, like, he didn't reach the pinnacle of what he could have done at Port, and we know that the end of his tenure was, you know, it felt quite like, oh, well, I know that I'm done anyway, like, whatever. Like, he felt a bit blasé about his sort of final seasons in the handover to Josh Carr. So, I don't know, is it like, I'm also just glad that he's not going to be on commentary anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm balancing out my happiness with concern.
I don't know, I feel like I kind of wanted like a young, new, up and coming, cool coach, and I don't know that Ken is any of those things.
The options
cool.
were John Longmire, Ken Hinkley, and Nathan Buckley. None of them were hitting that criteria.
Exactly. Like, look a little deeper. Spread your wings further.
I think it would have been even more funny if it was Josh Fraser.
That's why he was
I
saying no
don't
to
want
Carlton
it.
this whole
I
time.
don't want the Carlton job. I don't want the Carlton job. Come on. See you in
See
the
ya.
motherfuckers.
And they announced it before the season was over.
Yeah, amazing.
He's just
Like,
leaving.
That's 10 out of 10 work, though. So, obviously, we know that in Tasmania, they're going to get some concessions, and now is sort of the time that they can really start working with Ken and building out a full-blown coaching staff, because I believe, so he's the only staff that's been named. There's obviously still so many positions to go alongside him to build that football club. So I think that'll be interesting to see who ends up surrounding him. I suppose he gets to pick that.
Horse.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Did,
Pick one.
Horse, I'll let you be my vice.
did
my
any of you
vice
watch the Sam Pang show Ground Up on ABC?
It's the
No, I
first
know
I've
of
ever
it.
heard of this show.
It's on my list of things to watch, but yes, I know of it.
It's about a Tasmanian football team, the creation of a Tasmanian football team, loosely not based on what is happening in Tasmania at the moment. But yeah, it's quite interesting following it along when, you know, the coach gets named and then the coaching staff and then the high performance and all the different people who are on staff. So it's going to be interesting to see just how closely this follows that kind of, and here's the coach, and here's 5 players we've decided on, and here's our biggest sponsor. And so yeah, that'll be, I mean, the real team has already chosen their name, the Tasmanian Devils, where on the show they were like, we couldn't possibly be the Devils.
What a bet.
So ultimately, do we think this was a good choice?
Yes, maybe. I don't know. Like, him being on commentary has really turned me off of Ken. He really annoys me. I thought that Longmire had it absolutely in the bag. I thought that it was an easy choice. I think Ken, I mean, apparently from his time at Port, the players loved him. He had really good relationships with the players. think that's something that you really need in a coach who's the inaugural coach of a team that's starting. And there's obviously going to be a lot of young players there. So I think that's a good sign. I don't know. He never reached he never won a flag. I don't think he even reached a grand final in his tenure. He obviously went deep into the finals multiple times, but I don't know.
Yeah, I actually did just look up that stat. Across his 13 seasons, they made finals 7 times, including 4 prelim finals, but never reached a grand final.
Yeah.
Just couldn't
So I
get
think his
done.
win record is 58.6%. I've written down here, which is, I suppose, fine.
Exactly.
It's positive.
He's fine. He obviously did some press today. Was stood up in front of quite a few people when they announced him. And there's an interesting quote that came from him when that press conference happened. I don't have the context. I don't know what he was talking about. I just know the quote. He said, "Don't be surprised. We'll come pretty quick and we'll come really hard." So
I feel like Jesse would have wanted us to read that quote out loud.
yeah, that one's dedicated to Jesse.
I believe it's actually lifted from Jesse.
So if that's any indication as to what Ken's tenure is going to be like, it's going to be eventful.
Transparent.
They're coming hard and fast, and you won't know they're coming, but then they'll be there, and they'll come hard and
Yeah,
fast.
he's honest, and he's not promising more than what he can deliver, which I think
Okay.
is really important.
This is still him flirting with the clubs. He's like, oh, maybe.
I don't know where to go from here.
Also, I feel like he named a player today as well, or just someone that he's chasing.
Did he?
Go, did he?
Axel Walsh.
Who the fuck is Axel Walsh?
Exactly. The headline on the news article is like, you might not have heard of him yet, but Hinkley has. His brother
But he's gonna
played
be the
for
new
Port
captain
Adelaide.
at Tassie.
So his brother played for Port Adelaide, and apparently Hinkley's been eyeing his brother off and wants him at the club. Who from your team would you be willing to give up to Tasmania? Say it's like the draft, like the draft for war.
Conscription, yes.
Conscription is the word I'm looking for. Who would you send if you had to? Pick one.
Temptation to send a guy that I don't like.
Do you have any Tasmanian players on your team?
I think there's a couple, but I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
We have...
Is it like the World Cup where they can only go if they're born in Tassie? Can we do that? It really restricts them. You can only play if you were born here.
Well, our big one is Alex Pearce. Our captain is a Tassie boy, and
he's been heavily
linked.
linked.
Yeah. And look, I'm happy for him to go. If we win a flag, then he can go. If we win 2 flags, go for it, mate. But don't leave until that's done. Thank you.
We have 2 Tasmanian
Until
players.
your job is done.
Riley Sanders and Ryan Gardner. If they're the choices, I'll give up Ryan Gardner. Goodbye. So long. He's probably going to be delisted anyway, so...
Jess?
Look, my instinct said Harry Petty, but then I'm like, I just feel bad because I feel like I'm bullying him at this point. He's been through a lot.
Imagine how much you'd bully him if he wasn't on your team.
I know, I probably would, and that's the sad thing, isn't it?
So Melbourne only has 1 Tasmanian player, which is Brody Myercheck.
Oh.
Oh no,
just
he
got
can't
him.
go. I like
Yeah.
him too much.
Maybe just-
He's too nice. You can't.
He also
have him.
can't go because he might not play football again.
Yeah.
Oh, Brady.
Yeah, he might step. I'd be willing to send. I'm just looking at the list now. They can have Max Mapley, whoever that is. A guy I don't know.
No, he's our new ruck. We've got 3 rucks called Max. You can't take one of the 3.
Fine.
You can have anyone except someone named Max.
Yeah, fine. Jack Viney. I think that would be funny.
Oh, that's a bit mean.
He's been such a legend of the club.
Yeah, he's done his job though.
What's
He's the
he
Alex
done
Pierce
wrong?
role. Nothing. Can we give
I
a fresh
reckon
start?
someone for us like Jeremy Sharp or Neil Erasmus, guys that are like pretty good, doing their job when they're in the side, but also like, we're fine
Pierce
without
Brosnan. You could send Pierce Brosnan.
Oh, yeah, he got injured on the weekend.
Oh no, your boy
Yeah,
Jess.
sorry, Jess. I
No,
thought of
are
you
you
instantly.
fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
There was
Come back.
There was a report over the weekend, so it was rumoured that apparently 2 players have already signed for Tasmania, but the players weren't named, so Tom Morris basically took a guess. And the 2 that he guessed that would have already been signed was Beau McCreary from Collingwood. Apparently Tassie are offering him $1 million a year, so
Why?
makes sense. And the other one was Ryan Mansell, because Ryan Mansell so he's from Tassie and he had a multi-year deal on the table from Richmond that he was considering for quite a while. And he ended up only signing a 1-year extension randomly. So it takes him up to Tassie's draft next year. So they were the 2 that are rumoured to have already signed.
Well, because it's still 2 years until they join proper, right?
Yeah, next year's their first draft.
This year,
And-
did you say?
Next year's
No,
the first
next year.
draft,
Next
and
year.
then 2028 is their first playing season? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's closer than you think, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
Freo could have
feel
won
like
2 flags by then. Just saying.
But it's
Well,
gonna
you've
come
only got 2
around.
chances.
It's gonna happen. I'm like sitting here thinking, nah, that's fucking ages away. That's crazy. And then I'm gonna be sitting here watching them play and being like, where the fuck did that 2 years go?
You're going to have a
How am I
Being
this
like-
old? Yeah,
And being like, why is Harvey Langford playing in Tasmania?
yeah. Give him back.
You shut your pretty mouth, Chris.
I wonder if Colby McKercher will go.
He and Riley Sanders both signed up to 2028. So they can't be there.
Perfect.
They wouldn't be able to go for the inaugural season. Their contracts would run out at the end of 2028.
Okay.
Contracts don't really mean a whole lot, Chris.
But they do for this because they can only get uncontracted players from other clubs, I'm pretty sure, unless they trade for them, obviously.
That's fair. I can't wait for Alex Pearce to announce his defecting to Tasmania as they win and present the Premiership Cup to Freo in 2027. And he just full-blown, like, Hulk Hogan defects to the NWO.
Takes off his Freo jersey
Yeah.
and underneath is a
It's a
Tasmanian.
Tassie Devils jersey. And he throws the
Drumming.
cup on the ground.
Alex Pearce
Tackles
is the third
J-Lo.
man.
Tackles J-Lo.
Shaves his head.
And speaking of the Fremantle Dockers, hey, you guys won this week again.
Yeah.
Clear by 12 points on top of the ladder now.
Yeah.
Just going to Adelaide Oval and showing Port what for.
Almost not, though. We weren't winning the whole way. I also didn't watch a lot of this game. It was on and I was kind of doing things around the house. But then I was like, it's just a weird feeling, especially being a Fremantle supporter, to watch the screen and be like, we're losing, but we'll win this. And I feel like the players felt that as well. Like they came out, it's almost like they came out expecting to win. And Port kind of, I think they shocked them a little bit. They just came out fighting a bit harder. And then, Freo came back out at halftime and were like, nah, actually, we are here to play. We were just messing with you. So, yeah, there's not much to report. There were some good things that happened, and one of them was that we won.
I think Port shocked everyone. This was Port. Port haven't been great this year, but this was Port missing Butters, Horne-Francis, Georgiades, who all are out since their last game. So I was really surprised watching the first half. I was like, what the hell is going on here? But yeah, good win in the end from Freo.
You guys know that meme of like the saxophones getting louder?
Mm.
It's very funny every week, and the longer that Freo spend on top of the ladder, I feel like there should be an Australian version of the Poppy Gets Taller. Because the more success that Freo experiences, I'm hearing a hint of hope in some of the Freo supporters in my life. I'm like, we'll see how long this lasts. Because I get really nervous that Freo seem to now, very recently, just have halves of football that are just diabolical. And that's a concern going into finals. And it makes me personally not want to trust them because I want them to succeed, but also I don't want to get my hopes up.
I think this is what Chris has been saying this whole time about not trusting them.
Yeah.
Chris doesn't trust anyone, so it doesn't count if he doesn't trust anyone.
We had a whole segment on who I trust.
Yeah, we found out he does trust some people, but Fremantle is not one of them. Yeah, no, that it is a worry. I think for me, the difference is this year, as I've said before, in the past, we'd be losing by that much and give up, roll over, it's done. But now we just like something switches and we just get back into it and just go. And we just look like an unbeatable. I'm not saying we are, not jinxing anything. We just look like an unbeatable team at times.
Hear that? The Poppies getting taller, guys. Did you hear what she just said? I think Joe Richards with 31 disposals, Ollie Wines turning back the clock with 30 are some really, like Chris said, I think I was actually more impressed by Port doing things without their superstars. Like obviously Horn Francis will be back this week, but Ollie Wines has kind of just gone quiet since he let Butters, Rosie and Horn Francis just sort of take over the starring roles. Joe Richards has just been sort of quietly working hard this year. Jace Berglund's always great to watch as well. Darcy Byrne-Jones is putting together quite a good season. So I think this was probably something that they needed a little bit to prove to themselves that, hey, we can really tussle with teams who are pushing for finals, because they had a really awful start to the year. Good chat. Give me something, for the love of God, please. I'm drowning.
No, you're doing great. You're doing great.
I was really upset with Supercoach though, because Murphy Reed was tagged by Josh Lai and banned the tag.
You can also thank Chris for that jinx.
Yeah. I was watching it and I was like, oh no, I've cursed him.
I mentioned your prediction to my husband and he was like, Murphy Reed won't even get top 3 in Frio's people in the Brownlow.
Apart from Jackson, who the fuck else is going to poll votes?
He was like, Caleb Strong and Brayshaw will just get votes because they're the darlings of the umpires.
Brayshaw in the last 6 weeks, yes. Sarong's had a shit season.
You watch. They just get the points because they're the names. Shea Bolton will get a few.
Shea Bolton will get a few. Part of my reasoning is there's always a player that randomly finishes in the top 3 or top 5 that we're like, he actually did have a good year. My mind always goes back to when Angus Brayshaw just randomly almost won the Brownlow years ago and he finished 2nd or 3rd. And the whole night everyone was like, what the fuck is Angus Brayshaw doing on top? Where did this come from? I feel like that's the potential to happen this year, where everyone will be like, Murphy Reed, he did have a good year.
No, I'm sad that you mentioned Angus. I miss him.
My baby.
My baby. I wonder what he's doing now.
Playing golf and not being paid.
Yeah. Jess, what did you make of this one?
Yeah, the same.
Okay.
I think.
Good chat.
I wasn't surprised that Freo won. I was a little bit surprised that Port came out, and then it was just felt like business as usual for Freo, and I don't know. I'm quite impressed by the ability to just switch it on, but then I'm also like, why did you not just switch it on when you started? Like, why
not play 4 quarters?
Was it a game? Like, was it always just a little play to let them have a bit of fun and like wear themselves out in the first half? Bit like a toddler where you're like, just let them trash the house. They'll be asleep in an hour. And then I get my evening back. Like, or was it genuine? Like, we're just kind of a bit scrambled and then got our shit together at halftime because we had a spray. Like, what? I wish I could be a fly on the wall for that. Yeah. To just be like,
Jinx.
Okay. Like, it just, I don't know. I have the same hesitancy, I think, about finals where I'm like, because it feels like finals football is so different to regular, like normal ladder football.
We won't have to play Port Adelaide.
Well,
they ain't going to be there.
Don't pay anything out there. There's an extra 2 spots this year. You never know. Essendon won on the weekend. Anything could happen.
As Jessie told me, they're only 6 wins away from making finals. I was like, there's 5 weeks left. I think I agree with you, Jess, and it was quite obvious when they went to sing the song and it was back to their kind of lackluster performance of it because, well, for one, the change rooms were kind of eerily quiet And 2, the cameraman was like in the center of the circle going around, which they do sometimes, but this just felt you could hear every individual person singing, which is not great for football players. And it just, I don't know if they were singing quietly because Brennan Cox had his son there, but it was just kind of quiet and dull. And it's like, you've just won, like, you're top of the ladder. You should be cheering, but they've just sung the song so many times this year that they'll be like, oh yeah, here we go. Let's go again. I know, it's a weird thing.
Man, that Poppy's getting real tall.
I know. My
Again.
lobster's too buttery.
Ooh, my team's sick of singing this song because we win so much. Ooh.
The players get back into the change room. They're like, I guess we better sing it again.
This old ditty again, is it?
You watch, we'll lose to West Coast next week.
The worst part is they've always hated singing it as well because Freo are notorious for doing a shit club sing. Now, Jess, you mentioned that Essendon have a second win on the board, and that's right. They beat the Giants by 3 points, which nobody saw coming because the Giants beat Freo mere weeks ago. Weeks? Last week?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Mere weeks ago, the Giants were saying, hey, we can beat a top 4 side. And then they saw Essendon and went, nah, let them have one, I guess. That's the only thing I could think of in my head that's happened here. But good on you, Essendon. You did it.
It was a really odd
pick
game. Yeah. It was a really odd game. I can understand the Essendon supporters, being happy, but also saying, like, it's a good thing for culture that the young guys got to win. It is, but pick one. You just gifted it to Richmond.
Richmond could win one more, couldn't they?
They could, but they won't. They look horrific at the moment.
Yeah, they did look horrific. Jess and I watched parts of this game, and it was really back and forth, but it felt like there was just a very different way of working for Essendon. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was dropping Darcy Parish. Maybe they finally realised that Brad is gone for good. Maybe it's Sam Durham and Archie Roberts back in the side working together. There's just... It's really hard to figure out what was the deciding factor of this game between GWS have been flaky all year and Essendon have been notoriously horrible. So did Essendon improve a lot, or did GWS just fail to capitalise? Because they were 8-16.
Yeah.
Based on scoring shots.
I wrote in the notes, Jake Stringer kicked 7 against Freo.
Yeah.
And he kicked 7 behinds against Essendon. I think, dropped my notebook. I think that's, like I said, if a team's going to kick 7 goals, you're not going to win against them. What if he's going to kick 7 behinds? You've got a chance.
I only just noticed that he kicked 0 goals 7. What a shit cunt.
Yeah.
It's really aggressive.
summarised.
I can say that. He used to play for my club. It's okay.
I sent it to my Freo chat. Just like, so he can kick straight against us, but he can't kick straight against Essendon.
Nate Caddy exited the game at halftime early on, because he had an elevated heart rate. He was taken to hospital for assessment. They've confirmed that he has gone home now. They haven't said that there's any other illness going on, but they are obviously concerned. And he did not look good. I don't know if you guys saw this, but he did not look he looked in some kind of way. So I hope that that's all good for him.
The only vision I saw was when he was on the bench and he was like on all fours.
Yeah.
And Dean Solomon was like,
just
"You'll be right, mate. You'll be right," and just tried to like lift him up.
It's scary because he's so young.
Yeah.
But yeah, good to hear the good news came out anyway quite quickly that they let everyone know.
It does make the win for Essendon that little bit more impressive that they did it without Caddy for most of the game.
Well, Nick Bryan was fantastic.
Nick Bryan was good. Dyson Sharp had his best game so far. He was really good.
He got a Rising Star nomination out of it.
He did. Jacob Farrow kicked 2 goals, which he's played as a defender all year, but now he's kicking goals. So that's the thing that happened. Archer Daywicks.
Oh no, I tried to say figuratively, but I really... Hey guys, let me take that again. Figuratively and literally kicking goals. Good. Use that take. Thanks, Clarky.
Can do. Noted.
Archer Day Wicks had a good game, and I mean, they decided to play Merritt on the ball instead of just parking on the half-forward flank, and he racked up 35 touches, so that helps too.
And GWS had Toby Green go down.
Yeah, I think it was in the third quarter. From what they said, it was a quad. He went to tackle someone, and then it was funny because you don't even see him like reach for a muscle. He just gets up and walks off the ground like, yeah, I've torn something. But he doesn't limp or grab at anything. He just gets up and walks off.
Because if you look at his stats, he did nothing in the second quarter, so he might have been sore already and then went back out.
Yeah, maybe.
Had one kick and then went off.
I feel like Toby Green's in that part of his career as well, where I wouldn't be surprised if he went out, did one good thing, had an injury, and just never came back.
Well,
So,
they're saying he's going to Geelong next year.
Oh, yes, we were talking about that.
Yeah.
The
Why?
bad boy rehab.
Yeah, bad boy.
there. I had him in fantasy, and me and this other guy did a trade, and I traded for Nick Newman. And each week I've just been like comparing their scores. So it's like, as long as Nick Newman's just doing one better, getting 1 point more, then we're okay.
We'll move it on to, hey Jess, Melbourne got it done against North Melbourne, 92-76. Pretty good game. How'd you feel about this one?
Look,
Someone start the time for the clocks.
It felt very similar to Freo in the sense that they just came out and were like, I guess we'll just, it's North. We'll probably be fine. Except I was going, fucking pull your heads out your asses. It's North. They might just absolutely rail us. We lost to Essendon earlier this year. Anything's possible. And then it did seem that things started to be a bit more cohesive as the game went on. But it had me in the first half where I was like, oh my God, am I going to have to turn this off? I don't think I can watch us get absolutely pummeled by North after a mediocre season for them. Felt like there was a lot of injuries too. I was constantly watching everyone thinking, fuck, who else is going to get hurt? Daniel Turner fractured a rib, I think, in friendly fire as well. Wasn't even North's fault. Cozzy got a boot to the mouth and ended up having stitches on the bench. Looked really fucking gnarly as well. Like, that was gross. I didn't even see it happen. I just saw him running off the thing and they were like, oh, he's got blood in his mouth. And I was like, oh, fuck.
I love that the commentators sounded
nice.
confused. They was like, where's Cozzy going? Well, he's got blood in his mouth. Oh, there's blood in his mouth. Oh, God.
To get a boot to the mouth, you're like, yeah, fair enough. But if you watch it happen, you're like, oh, wait a minute. Like, he was running regularly. Cooper Trimbath was jumping. The boot was it wasn't that his head was at boot height. The boot was at head height and got him in the face.
I know.
Then Trimbath jumped like it was the first time he'd ever jumped because his limbs were everywhere.
Everywhere.
Like a baby giraffe.
Yeah, crazy.
I don't know. Cooper Trimbath felt like a bit of a threat in the whole game. But I was hearing them talk about how the North were mixing it up and they had Trimbath in the ruck and then they had Sherry forward. And then we ended up having Max Heath in the ruck and then putting Gawn forward a little bit. And then Gawn had to go back because both of our defenders were injured. I I don't know. It felt very chaotic. It didn't feel like a fun kind of thing to watch. And then we did what we always do, just this time a little bit later, but we let them in the dying stages of the fourth quarter just have a bit of a run. And they brought it up to a 16-goal margin, which I feel like if the game had gone on for another 10 minutes, it would have finished very differently. North really felt like they were building momentum right at the end. And I was like, fuck, just please stall, run the clock down. I was desperate as well to hit 100 points, which feels like a bit of a first world problem, but we didn't even manage to do that. We kicked 14 behinds, for fuck's sake. Just, I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of whinging about nothing because we did still win and that's still good. But it feels like we're allergic to having a good percentage in a season where we really do need to have a good percentage to separate us from people.
I feel like we didn't even have a good percentage in 2021, so I feel like it's just a Melbourne thing. But
maybe
something that will help with that is the emergence of Jacob Van Rooyen and Matthew Jefferson as a combo has been really, really fun to watch. Jefferson has been waiting for years for just a good, solid block of games, and recently he's been out there, he's been taking marks, but his accuracy has been not so good. This week, 4 goals, 10 disposals. Love that. Absolutely so brilliant to see that. Van Reen went 2 and 2, easily could have been 4. He's, coming off the back of 2 back-to-back 5-goal games.
Mm.
And his presence has just been, it's just a level of confidence, right? And in the off-season, Melbourne brought in Matthew Scarlett to help with the forward coaching. And I think you can kind of see some of that benefit of actually bringing in a really solid forward coach to just help these guys take that next step, because it's what we're missing. Like Latrell kicked 2, Rue kicked 2, Jefferson kicked 4, and then Tom Sparrow had 1 goal, 1 and 33 disposals. Harry Sharp kicks another goal, and he's been fantastic this year, just a constant threat all around the ground. Cozzy, 29 disposals and a goal. Like Langford, 1 goal, 21 disposals. So good. Like there's so many positive signs. I think I'll just feel better when it doesn't feel patchy. Like I think the highs and lows make it so difficult. And like Chris, I always feel sometimes that Melbourne and the Bulldogs are very similar in this way, where it's just patches of some of the best football I've ever seen in my fucking life, and then moments where I'm like, what is wrong with my team?
Yeah.
Something is fundamentally broken and I don't know what it is because it was fine 10 minutes ago.
Maybe Stephen King is taking after Bevo. Welcome to the club.
I think everything this year has really bought Stephen King a lot of good faith. And I think that'll last a lot for us Melbourne supporters. But hey, Chris, speaking of your boys, beloved sister club to Melbourne, you got it done against Gold Coast by 9 points, but it probably felt like it should have been more.
Well, it felt like everyone had kind of written us off for this game. It's like, even though Gold Coast had been in poor form, it's like, because we had a close game against West Coast last week and it was up on Gold Coast, everyone just thought we were going to lose. But yeah, it felt like we were in control probably up until the last 5 minutes, or last 5 to 10 minutes, where all of a sudden they got a couple goals and started to peg it back, and it was like, oh, I think we've just left it late enough that it won't matter. But yeah, other than that, it felt like we were in control for most of it, especially in the second half. After halftime, we just came out and were clearly the better team. I think the biggest thing from this game is just Marcus Bontempelli, which I've seen some of the footy journos say that Dimmer should be criticised for the lack of attention he gave to Bont, which I agree. There were points where Bont was just by himself. Like his first goal of the game, it was his second goal. His second goal of the game, he was just standing inside 50 by himself and the ball just fell to him and there was no one near him. And he just basically walked it in pretty much. But yeah, he had a ripping game. English, it was nice to see him back playing some good football. And Matt Kennedy, 3 goals, had a ripping game. It was a lot of supporters have been saying that Kennedy has been spending less time forward and more time in the mid this year, whereas last year he spent more time forward. And this was kind of the proof that he should be a forward who pinch hits in the mid, because he kicked 3 goals. He had a ripping game. So yeah. And now we have Richmond this week. Smiles all around.
9 points doesn't feel like I should be that critical of Gold Coast, because they kept themselves in it. They brought themselves back. They were in front at points. And when you look at the stat sheet, like Took Miller winding back the clock really, and almost like 39 disposals. Will Powell, 30 disposals. Noble, 30. Zeke Uland, Matt Rowell, Bodie Uland, Petrarca, like all these contributors, right? Like you're looking at the actual ball use and what did they do with it? Like it felt like so much of this was they left it too late for their run, and it required Mac Andrew kicking a goal, Dill Patterson kicking one, and then Petrarca somehow getting one very close to the end of the game. And they had an opportunity to win it, and that's fine. But like the overall performance still felt quite poor. Is that fair of me to say, or is that like, am I just being an arsehole? Like I feel like Dimmer.
No, I agree.
We had it on for quite a bit, and I was just like, they just don't look good.
Happy.
They don't look like they're not happy. They don't look like they're trying hard enough. There's a point where I think it was Rioli, like, had the ball and tried to do something fancy, but he just turned around and ran into 5 Bulldogs players. And it's like, well, don't try and take 5 players on your own. Where's the rest of your team to help you out?
Yeah, I feel I've been contrasting them against Essendon in my mind because I feel like when I watched Essendon, I know they won, but they barely won. So it's like, I feel like the margin was similar. But Essendon just looked electric when they were playing. Like you could see they really had that momentum and they were really working together and something was just gelling. And then you watch Gold Coast and it just felt like it was a constant struggle. Like I don't know, like the enthusiasm just wasn't there. And it honestly does feel like there's something deeper going on. And that's why they can't get their shit together on the field.
Well,
Like,
in full
there's just-
disclosure, the weather was awful. Like the weather was terrible. It was wet. It was windy. Not great for football, but still, like effort is something that you can still feel when you watch your team playing. I would even say the same thing of Melbourne looked really slow at points during their game this week. So
Mhm.
is this just fatigue and the regression? Because I think that's it. It's when you contrast the performance with the regression from last year, where they really convinced us that they'd made a step.
I think that's the thing. I think we just all saw we just had such high hopes for them. You know, they are tiny poppies at the moment. We want the best for them.
Yes. Want them to become tall so I can cut them down further.
Exactly. I was ready to cut them down last year, but this year they're nice and small. We were watching and there's a child on the field playing for the Western Bulldogs. We're like, who is this baby? And we looked at his name, I don't know, Josh Dolan, 17 games, 19 years old. But I'm just like, that's a child, that's a baby. And actually, I guess he is because he was born in 2006.
Shit.
Where were you all in 2006? I just Googled
God.
key things that happened in 2006.
All right, hit me.
Twitter was launched. Josh Dolan is the same age as Twitter. Google bought YouTube. Pluto was reclassified as a dwarf planet
Oh my
in
God.
2006.
He's
Steve
never
Irwin
known
died.
Pluto as a planet.
He's
a
never
planet.
experienced
He's never known
planet
Steve
Pluto.
Irwin.
What? Oh my God.
What else? Disney Channel. Oh, High School Musical came out in 2006. Big Pirates of the
Yeah.
Caribbean. Dead Man's Chest. Yeah, guys, there was a lot of things happening. And this kid, he doesn't even know.
I mean, realistically, he could be one of our children.
actually, yes.
It's not impossible.
Yeah.
What? No.
Well,
Don't say that. I was in high school and I was responsible.
I had left. I was at uni. Yeah, I could have had it. I've had that discussion with my husband before, where we're like, that kid is as old as our relationship is. If we'd had a baby as soon as we'd got together, like, that's him now. There he is.
Playing in the AFL.
Playing in the AFL. Not for the Western Bulldogs, surely not.
I hope now you feel a sense of like pride in him. He's basically your child.
I
Oh,
raised
little
him.
Josh Dolan.
Maybe we can adopt him as a show. Like we here at the Falcon can officially adopt Josh Dolan as the baby of the show.
All right, let's reach out to him. Let's see how we go.
Yeah.
When you said you were watching and then there was a child, I don't know if any of you have seen this clip.
Oh, on the
There was
sideline?
Yeah, on the sidelines.
Upside down?
So
That's what I thought you were going to say.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were talking about. They zoomed in. I think the umpires were talking or something, and just off to the
Yes.
side in the background, a man just picks up his toddler and just lifts her upside down, and just that's all you see in the camera is just this
Dunking
toddler
him up
dangling
and down
upside
and up and
down.
Like Michael Jackson and his baby blanket, which was,
Yeah,
I think earlier than 2006. Josh Dolan would even
definitely-
know about blanket.
definitely earlier than
Not for you,
2006.
this one.
I love that the commentators were like trying to keep talking about the game, and then one of them was like, I'm quite worried about that child.
Obviously, a lot of things going on in the commentary this week.
Spoilers, it was Josh Dolan on the
It was
sideline
Josh
being held upside down.
Yeah, that's how they make him so tall so that he can play football. He has to every week. He has to re-stretch himself out to hang him by his ankles.
You must be this tall to play. Oh, God, keep stretching.
please. Carlton took on Collingwood, which apparently is a big rivalry. I don't know. I don't follow either of those teams, so I don't care. I was constantly berated by the commentators. Go, that's not how the game goes between these two teams. I was like, well, I feel like any two teams would want to win the game. So I don't feel any difference in both of them wanting to win this one. Collingwood came away the 21-point victors, but Carlton, once again, they're off the wagon. They're off the wagon. They've had a sweet taste of defeat, and they're like, familiar. Just a little more, please. Is that good? You like that? Chris likes that one. That's good.
It took me a minute to process that, and now I'm like, that's just rude.
Am I wrong?
I don't know. I think Josh Fraser might have peaked. Might be time to step away.
Well,
Wait,
while we've been
Tasmania.
recording, actually, they've announced that there are 3 coaches officially moving to the next stage of the search. So, we're talking about the larger pool of coaches. It's now down to Corey Enright, James Kelly, and Jamie Graham. And it's like, and at this point, we allow Josh Fraser to also enter the chat. He's still going, I don't want to. Don't.
He's off at the side, giving it the hand
Imagine
by
she's
the
like,
neck.
I'm going to
Like,
Essendon now that Tasmania have announced.
Jess, you've left some notes here about Collingwood players' massive overreaction to Dacos being touched while he soothed his poor shoulder.
oh my
What's
God.
happening here?
Cry me a fucking real. I'm so fucking sick of
Okay, and-
hearing the name Dacos. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the commentators absolutely sucking his dick the whole game. I'm so fucking over it. They just are obsessed with him, and it is pathetic at this point. It needs to stop. The whole game, they were just like, oh, look at Dacos. I'm like,
That's because
about
Peter
anyone else?
Dacos is in the commentary box pointing at them
Yeah.
like this with angry eyes going, you better keep talking nice about him.
And then when he hurt himself, and he's like, it didn't even do anything major to his shoulder. It just looked a little bit sore. One of the Carlton players came up and just kind of give him a bit of a rough pat on the back or whatever. And the entire Collingwood team jumped on him like he was the last meal in the desert and just started absolutely having it on him. I'm like,
The last
are
what?
you for real?
She said last meal in the desert, but maybe last drop of water in the desert would
Yeah,
also work.
whatever. Whatever, it's fine.
No, but also
maybe
some meal in the desert. That does work, yeah. Okay.
They didn't, you would be hungry in the desert.
Yeah.
Not except for the desert of dessert. In which case you would not be, you would have diabetes. I think
Can
it's...
you hear an eye roll? Did anyone hear it?
Yeah, I think you can hear it. That's fine. The creaking. I think I agree that they did talk about Dacos quite a lot, and I wonder if that's because Collingwood have a massive absence of any of their big, well-known stars at this point, right? Like Jamie Elliott's done for the year, Darcy Moore is done for the year, Pendlebury is 80 and still
younger than me.
still requires money.
I was going to say the same thing. I feel like there's no one else to talk about on Collingwood's list, so it's just... And I mean, you mentioned Dacos, and you killed 2 birds with one stone. You could be talking about Nick, you could be talking about Josh.
Could be
Which
talking
one
about
would
their
you
dad,
donate?
Peter. He's always there as well.
Yeah. He's still hanging around.
Which one would you donate to Tasmania, Josh or Nick?
Nick,
Yeah.
get rid of
Nick
him.
should
Send him
go.
down there. Humble him.
Oh, if he wants to be the star of something, go be the star of Tasmania.
Go be the big fish on the
Oh.
small
Go.
island.
I don't know how much of a selling point that is. Go be the star of Tasmania.
You've got maybe 6 to 10 years before they're actually any good. Go on. Build
Do a-
something.
Do
You
what
wanna be
Gaz
part
did.
of
Boy
it.
Ken is coaching them. They're going to come out swinging. What are you
Ken
talking
would
about?
love to coach Nick. Like, unironically, Ken would love to have
Imagine if Ginnivan went.
Nick. Oh, the band's back together.
Him, they'd just be doing little airplanes on the side of
Yeah,
it.
give it the airplane. He's not getting the ferry to Tassie. He's going to fly.
You were talking about Ginnivan and Dacos playing together. I was talking about Ginnivan and Hinkley being
Yeah.
And it all
coach,
works.
father and son.
It's all a big circle. So yeah,
One other thing that happened in this game, which it happening wasn't what is the issue, is David King's response to it was just very odd. So Harry Mackay and Sam Walsh knocked knees. That is not a euphemism. their knees knocked into each other.
I don't know.
can't
Carlton did
I
score
can't believe
49.
I can't believe they kissed on field. Finally, someone's AFL fic is really going off.
We're gonna come real quick and we're gonna come really hard. They knocked knees. Their knees knocked into each other, and Harry
You
Mackay.
can say, I was going to say banged, but that sounds even worse.
Yeah,
So just say their knees banged. Oh.
yeah, Cass. We draw the line at saying banged. Yeah, it's knocking boots or busts.
They
Anyway, they
Harry
knocked knees,
Mackay.
Chris.
Yeah, Harry Mackay was ruled out for the rest of the game because he hurt his knee when he knocked it against Sam Walsh's. And David King, after the game or the next day, I don't know when it was, has just gone on this rant of basically saying that Harry Mackay ruled himself out of the game and that he's weak and that he pulled himself off the ground because he was saying, we need you out there, you should be out there giving your everything. And it's like everyone's just been like, how do you know he took himself out of the game? This is very odd.
David King is one of the top 3 commentators that I would donate to Tasmania, but to be encased in concrete as a statue outside the ground. As a reminder that football media is a responsibility and a privilege. Shut the fuck up, David King. Honestly, every time I see him and he opens his fucking mouth, he's saying like the worst shit I could possibly think of.
It just annoys me that there's all this like, and there seems to be an example of this happening literally every 2 or 3 weeks. There's all of this desire to have a men's mental health round, and then the media just makes you go, you're the reason we need a mental health round. Like, this is the exact reason. Who knows if he took himself off the ground? If he did, maybe he was like, yeah, no, I don't feel right. I'm not going to play. Are you saying the same thing about Nate Caddy?
He is. He's definitely saying it. Fuck, mate. Oh, fucking, I've had a bit of heart trouble. It's fine. You just go out there, just take it easy and fucking work back into it. Back in my day, they wouldn't let you come off for that. We're giving you a quick ease and send you right back into the centre bounce. Is this the time, Jess, for your public apology to Gerard Whately?
Look, I was going to bring it up, but I didn't know if we wanted to move away from Carlton just yet.
No, we're just chatting. This is the just chatting section of the podcast.
Okay. Well, it feels like a better time than any. But first, I would just like to acknowledge my boy Patrick Cripps because I feel like he had a really good game and nobody's talking about it. So
he's actually received a lot of criticism for his game, is what I've been seeing. So
I thought he played really well, and I think that he deserves a pat on the back. He's not had an easy year, and he plays for a shit club. So good for you, Cripps, for turning up every week and doing your job. Proud of you. Anyway, I had a realization on the weekend that I've been hating the wrong Gerard for quite some time now.
Oh,
And
Gerard
I need to issue a public apology. I was misled by my co-host because I don't know who's who. And I was told that I don't like Whately. But it turns out I was listening to Whately talking on the weekend and was like, he's quite nice. I quite like listening to him. And then Josh looks up who it was and I was like, it can't be. I don't like him. No, it's Healy I don't like. So if you're listening, Healy, I don't like you. You need to quit your job. I'm fucking sick of hearing you on the weekend. You're so negative. You need to go sort your shit out because that's actually going to make you sick holding on to that much negative energy. Whately, you're in my good books. You can carry on as you were. Apologies to everyone involved.
You should watch AFL 360.
Yeah.
See if you like him on that.
We would, but it's
Watch
on
some
while we
old
record a
episodes,
podcast.
actually. I reckon go back and watch the old episodes with Robbo.
Yeah, we'll just watch the moon clip on repeat because that's what makes you feel good about footy. And you know what? Actually, I think this is probably maybe something that we should look at starting a segment next week. But maybe we should bring some good stuff from the footy every week because we do cover the negative stuff and we're quite strong in some of the opinions that we have.
Don't look at me when you're saying that. That's rude.
I didn't. There's 4 squares on my screen. If you want, I can come out into the room that you're in and stare directly at you. But I want to bring up a moment that Jess has found the clip for and put it in the docket. But the people at the Sydney and Adelaide game behind the goals who were doing the signals for the umpire before the signals were being rushed through. Absolutely elite stuff. We love that kind of fun at the footy. The weather was miserable, and they're stood there. The ball goes through, and you just see the young lady in her seat just doing the square for the score review, and then lo and behold, a score review. The friend next to her, like doing the touched signal before the umpire has even made his decision. I love that. That's the kind of umpire banter that we need more of.
Extra pair of eyes. Just ask them. Did
I
you
love
guys
it.
see it? Where did it bounce? I couldn't
Yeah.
see. Did you see? Thanks for the help.
They should do it like a Millionaire so that the audience can vote. Every seat has a built-in button.
Underneath your seat, pull out the panel.
Fastest finger count.
Speaking of good news, though, there was another. I thought you were going to mention the Oz kicker that we saw, because that was also a really heartwarming moment where a little Oz kicker kicked a goal. I think it was in the Carlton match, actually, at the halftime. And he did the arrow, a giant arrow. And it was just really sweet and lovely to see a child doing that when most adult men can't even be bothered to do it, which has infuriated me. So
Josh Tracy did one on the weekend after a little kid asked him to do it as well. So that was cute.
good.
Yeah, Tom
Yes,
Papley
good.
did it last week, I think.
Yeah, good work from the big kahuna. Not a fan of Papley.
Have to get fucked.
You,
I
Papley.
didn't say that. I just said I'm not a fan. Okay, here's the thing, right? And I know that this is in my new segment of all the good things about football, is I am convinced that Tom Papley, if I met him, he would be so lovely. If I met him in a cafe, he'd probably offer to buy me a coffee and we'd have a good chat. Something about him when he plays football, though, can't stand him. He's got that rat dog energy that just rubs me up the wrong way because he's not on my team. The second he decides to come to Melbourne, ride or die. I'll have the badges, I'll buy a beanie.
Remember last year he was sledging Toby Green and he was calling him fat? that was
I
an
thought,
odd
wasn't it the
moment.
reverse?
No, it was Papley was calling Toby Green fat. Yeah.
I thought it was the reverse in my head. Okay, well, retracted. Bad guy. Bad man.
I was going to say, I thought you were going somewhere else with I feel like I'd meet him in the street and he'd buy me a coffee. I feel like I'd meet him in the street and he'd probably punch me. So that's why I don't
that's
like him.
Toby Green.
Yeah, it's definitely Toby
No,
Green.
I get the other vibes from Toby Green. I feel like he's probably okay off the field.
I
And he
actually
just
I
gets
get
that.
those vibes from Fogarty's face.
Oh,
Like
You
I
get
know
those
he
vibes
does
after he
it
just
for-
killed a man.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
just doesn't. He has an unfriendly face.
Well, so we should talk about this because this has been one of the big incidents of the week. Darcy Fogarty has been given 3 weeks by Christensen for striking, I believe was the offence listed. I didn't see the strike until it took me a few watches of the replay where because his arm sort of comes over the top of the Sydney defender. I forget which defender it is. Sorry, the
Cunningham.
name escapes me. Cunningham, that's who.
Cunningham, that's it.
And it took me so long to notice that, like, it does look like he's making a genuine attempt to sort of knock the ball loose, and then he full square clocks him in the jaw by accident. And it's just ignited the whole debate again of outcome versus intent, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw this differently to Jess and I, because Jess and I were both watching it going like, what? Like, it looks like he just goes over the shoulder. And I had to like really like squint in before I said to Jess, like, oh, like, look, you can see he rocks his jaw right there.
Yeah, I didn't see it live, but I watched the replay. And the first time I watched the replay, I was like, oh, he just tackled him.
Mm.
And
yeah,
then when I
that's
saw
what I
that,
thought. I was like,
yeah,
what?
I saw the camera angle on, like he was quite vicious in how he swung his arm. I was like, oh, yeah, I can kind of get it. And unfortunately, because he's knocked him out. If he hadn't knocked him out, he probably would have gotten 1. But because he's knocked him out, that's why he's gotten 3. I don't know if I agree with it. Yeah, it was a hard one to argue.
It feels so inconsistent. I'm not saying, I think 3 was probably a bit much too, maybe. But like, you'll do that, but you can fracture someone's neck and get away with it. Like, I'm not really sure what we're using here as a barometer for the punishment. Like, is it the outcome? Because if it's the outcome, then we're very inconsistent. Because you could argue that he was genuinely going to spoil the ball. And yes, unfortunately, if you're going to spoil the ball, you're going to have a closed fist. Like, I don't have any thoughts on Fogarty either way. So it's not like he's my favourite, but I don't
Face
know.
I don't trust.
Well, there you go. Maybe it was one of your mates on the
The
MRO.
Did you guys see the story of sorry, I know that we're talking about this. Christensen's son going to the tribunal, and he represented him and then got more weeks.
Yeah, I did
Did I
see
send
something
that?
about
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
It was very funny. Michael Christensen's son was sanctioned for 3 matches and was like, "Oh, I'm going to go and represent him." And then lo and behold, he comes out with a 5-week suspension, I think. It was increased by like 1 or 2 weeks. Very funny.
What did he say?
Hilarious.
Yeah. That's a bad tribunal.
I think opening it up with "Do you know who I am?" probably was what killed it.
And to close the show on a fun note, well, not fun, a funny note, did everyone see Harley Reid slipping on the bench?
Yeah, but like, I really wanted a different angle. There really
Yeah.
wasn't.
Right?
Yeah.
You can't see his feet. You just see his
Yeah, I didn't
face.
feel
and
like I
he's
really saw
"What?"
much. Yeah.
So
that
for
none of us actually know what happened.
listeners who maybe haven't seen the footage, during the Brisbane and Eagles game where Brisbane handily won that one by 24 points, there is a shot of Harley Reid on the bench. He was getting some work done, then he was walking around and he was talking. He looks to step away. It's a mid shot, so the camera stops short of his waist, so you can't see his legs, and he just disappears from frame. He just takes one step and then disappears from frame. Like he's fallen down a hole, and next thing you know, it combs down and he's on the ground in the dugout and Optus clutching his ankle.
Yeah. And even the
He's got
trainer who's
that-
there with him is like, what happened?
Well, he's got that proper, like, I just fell in public face on of like, oh, fucking hell. Everyone just fucking saw that shit.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'd be mortified. That'd be me done. I said I'd be in the car, just heading home, deactivate my Instagram account, unfinished. Just call me in a couple of weeks when it's all died down.
Thankfully, he played on, so it seemed like it wasn't serious, but it was literally another moment that just confused everybody from commentary to couches.
Incredible.
And what's been incredible is the time that I've spent with you guys, but it's time to finish. That's another episode of The Falcon in the books. Now, listeners, remember, you can find The Falcon on Instagram and Twitter at FalconFootyPod. You can also give us a rating and a review on your podcast platforms of choice, but nothing helps us more than word of mouth. If you have a friend, if you have a lover, if you have a second-hand mother that you found because you've been adopted by a new family, just like this podcast has adopted Josh Dolan, then tell them, hey, I listen to this podcast. They're pretty cool. They like stuff. They can't hold a single straight line thought to save themselves, but they tell me that they love me, and that's important because we do. Make sure you tell them. Listen to us. At Falcon Footy Pod, they can find us. We can find us individually. Chris, where can people find you?
At Lowry_16.
And Cass?
I'm at CassVag.
Jess?
That's Wanky Jess with 2 eyes.
And you can find me at QuantumJC or over at the Footy Mailbag, where the Supercoach season is wrapping up. So that I'll pretty much go social media dormant until post NFL, which is like January, February. Oh, maybe no. I think Cass and I take turns with the Falcon account. But FLW season's ramping up, so we've got plenty of sport to keep us entertained. I'm gonna try FLW fantasy again this year. I think that's gonna be my off-season treat until the NFL starts. But hey, we'll see you next week, listeners, for round 20. And bye for now, and not forever. Love you.
Goodbye.
See ya.
The entire team at the Falcon Footy Pod would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians and cultures of the lands and seas on which we live and record this podcast. We pay our respects to all First Nations peoples, elders and ancestors, and thank them for their continued connection and contribution to this country's national game.